Well, greetings everybody. It's Wednesday, April 14th, and let's cut right to the frog.
Well. Miracles do happen after all. The boob has actually achieved 2 straight weeks of videos. Do you think perhaps he can do 2 more? In the meantime, there are 3 new subscribers: Darkhawk519, Exedron, and FoxTheCave. Welcome and thank you very much for subscribing. And now, I can't hardly wait to see how it is the boob is going to manage to connect lemonade and sex. Do stay tuned.
First thing I want to deal with is a comment that Pwn WTF left about like 5 days ago, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I meant to before this, but there's just been too many things going on, and I forgot about it till now. They asked about, do I have a good lemonade recipe? Well, as it turns out, I do have one here, and it's pretty simple. You start out with a cup of sugar and a cup of water. Heat them up together, stirring and so on, until all of the sugar is completely dissolved in the water. Because you know how when you put sugar in cold water, most of it's just going to sit down there in the bottom. You want to have this completely dissolved. Now, while that's heating up, you take about 5 or 6 lemons and juice them. What you need is a cup of lemon juice. Of course, you'll want to remove the seeds, and it's up to you whether or not you want to remove the pulp. Once your sugar water is completely dissolved, take that off the heat, pour that in your pitcher, and pour your cup of lemon juice in the pitcher. And to that, add 3 or 4 cups of cold water, and you adjust how much water you add based on the strength and level of taste you want. If it comes out a little too sweet, you can just add a little bit more lemon juice. It takes a little bit of trial and error to get the ratios just exactly right to your taste, but once you got it, there you go. Now, I'm sure along with the frog, everybody's wondering, what in the world does lemonade have to do with sex? Well, frankly, aside from the fact I'm going to talk about both in this video, nothing. It just made for a really catchy title. The reason I was going to talk about sex is I saw a Lancelot's video about no nookie until he loses 11 pounds. And that got me to kind of wondering about that. And I did some looking up things, and I found an article on WebMD that is actually more of an argument in favor of sex as opposed to skipping it. This article is, and I've got a link to it down in the description, the 10 health benefits of sex. Now, I know it's obviously something everybody enjoys, but nobody ever stops to think, are there health benefits? Yes, there are. And it's not just a good exercise, although that's one of them. I'm going to go over these in the order they are in the article, and we'll see here. Okay, number 1, sex relieves stress. That may sound like a dull moment, but they're not just talking about the obvious part of that. They've shown people with people having sex having lower blood pressure and an overall reduction in stress. This is a good thing. Stress is a killer. It'll mess you up bad, and mess up your health, and so on. So you reduce your stress, reduce your blood pressure, and you're in better health. Number 2, boosts immunity. How's that one for a surprise? Through me, it increases the levels of an antibody called immunoglobulin A, which is protecting you from colds and other infections. And number 3 is another one that sounds obvious, burning calories. Granted, it's not a monstrous amount of calories. They're talking about 30 minutes worth being good for 85 or more calories. And that may not be a whole heck of a lot, but frankly, I can't do 85 calories in 30 minutes on a treadmill. I just can't. So that sounds like a much better way to get that 85 calories burned. A lot more fun, too. Number 4, improves cardiovascular health. Now, I didn't expect this one at all. They're saying that people that had sex twice or more a week had the risk of fatal heart attacks reduced by half. Yo, that's worth it. Number 5, this one is obvious, but it's in here anyway. Boosts self-esteem. Let's face it, there ain't very many things going to make you feel better about yourself than a few minutes of Number 6, improves intimacy. Now, this sounds like an obvious one at first because, let's face it, that's about one of the most intimate things two people can do. But they're talking about showing increased levels of a hormone called oxytocin, which is supposedly the so-called love hormone, which, among other things, makes it easier for us to bond and build trust, and so on. Number 7, reducing pain. As the level of oxytocin increases, it's releasing endorphins, which are neurotransmitters in the brain. As those levels go up, the level of pain that you feel goes down. Number 8, reduced risk of prostate cancer. That's a big one. Prostate cancer may not be the number 1 killer of anything, but it's a bad one. Again, 2 or more times a week, you got a reduced risk of prostate cancer. That's absolutely great. And for the ladies, strengthens pelvic floor muscles. It says that if women would do some Kegel exercises, and the article describes what the Kegel exercise is, it will not only increase pleasure, there's an incentive right there, it will also strengthen the area and reduce the risk of incontinence later in life. Nobody wants incontinence. Ugh. And number 10, you sleep better. Again, there's that oxytocin coming in. It helps promote sleep. And of course, as we all know, sleep is important for good health. It's important in weight loss to get enough sleep. Sleep is important all the way through your life. You need to get enough sleep. It needs to be good sleep. And so you need that oxytocin to help you get good sleep. And you can enjoy generating all that oxytocin. This is all really great. It just strikes me as good regular sex would be a part of a weight loss program as opposed to abstinence. Of course, it doesn't do very much for those of us who don't have any partners. I'm tempted to say something about asking for volunteers, but I don't think I'm going to go there. Later, YouTube. Take it easy. Have fun.